Temperatures in Washington, 29 degrees, and some wind which will be felt down on the field and in the stands here, where, as usual, RFK is a sellout. The Redskins will receive Derek Shepard, just back from injured reserve. A first-year man of Oklahoma is the deep man. Roger Ruzek will kick it off for the Cowboys, who are right in blue. From the goal line, Shepard. Loose ball. Recovered by Caravello at the 12-yard line of the Washington Redskins. Garth Jacks was the man who put the hit on Shepard and knocked that ball loose. Doug Williams leads out the Redskins, regaining his starting role with a relief job last week that led them to victory over the Eagles.
And he left his helmet on the bench.
How about that, Dan?
Too cold for that, Doug.
Well, when he gets his helmet, he gets out there, he'll be looking at these guys, and he'll need his hat for Jones, Brooks, Newton, and Jeffcoat. The linebackers, Burton, Lockhart, and Gary Cobb. And the secondary, Walls with young Robert Williams on the right corner, Bates and Downs. Downs, the leading tackler for the 7th consecutive year for the Cowboys. So Williams, helmeted now, ready for combat. First down from the 12-yard line. Jamie Morris, not much. Back to the line of scrimmage. Ron Burton waiting for him there, number 57, left side linebacker. Jamie Morris, younger brother of Giants Joe, joined by Art Monk, Gary Clark, Terry Orr, and Don Warren at the so-called skill positions. Lachey, Grimm, McKenzie, Mark May, and Joe Jacoby, a shuffled offensive line. They've only been together in that alignment for about 3 games, and they've got McKenzie there at center starting for the 2nd game in a row. Williams on 2nd down for Monk. He's got it. First down, Washington to their 25-yard line. Inactive players today for these two teams. For the Cowboys, Timmy Newsom and Glenn Titensore, both injured. Kelvin Edwards been bothered with an injury all season long. They've decided to sit him down today, so they're one under the limit of 45. For the Redskins, R.C. Tillman, backup offensive guard, and Travis Curtis, man in a bit of a controversy we'll expand on when we get an opportunity, just acquired via the waiver route from the Phoenix Cardinals. First down, Redskins. Jamie Morris. Over the 30-yard line, a pickup of 5. Ron Burton on the tackle again for the Cowboys.
Tim, one thing I want to look for today is when the Redskins running game, look for them to try to break that ball back a great deal with Jamie Morris. You see him, he's heading front side over the left side and trying to break it back over center. And the reason why is they feel that Ron Burton, number 57, the backside linebacker on that play, may get out of position, and they can take advantage of that.
Jamie Morris, 5'7", 190-pounder rookie from Michigan, their number 3 pick, has the ball again. And again, not a whole lot of running room for him. He got maybe 2. It'll leave 3rd down and 3. Morris taking over from Timmy Smith, who had the big game in the Super Bowl last year and has been a disappointment this season.
Here it is down in the pit now. Watch, they're going to try to go outside with this play. The key block is Don Warren's. He blocks down and seals Ed Too Tall Jones in. But another block does not happen, Terry Orr's block, and as a result, you saw Jamie Morris had to take that second dip, and then he met a bunch of Cowboys, and they corralled him.
And we should point out, while he's not listed on the inactive, Kelvin Bryant was placed on injured reserve today. He's been out for several weeks with a knee injury and has just now been placed on injured reserve, gone for the year. Williams, he's got Monk and just overthrows him. Art Monk, complaining about a grab down there, will not get the call.
Doug Williams got good protection on the play. You see Doug is complaining about his receiver, Art Monk, being held. Good protection on the play. He gets a little bit of pressure from the left side, and Jeff Coat, but hey, puts his ball downfield. Monk one-on-one with the defender, and just outreaches that ball. Another step, Art Monk goes all the way, and you have 6 points for the Redskins.
Everson Walls, the man he had beat. Kelvin Martin back to receive the punt. Greg Coleman, former Minnesota Viking, 3rd punter this year for the Redskins. Hits it from his 22. At the 29, Martin. Good tackle in the open open field by Terry Orr. 39-yard punt by Coleman. Cowboys will have their first offensive possession from their 29-yard line when we return. Fowler out of the backfield into the slot right. Herschel Walker for about 2, maybe 3 yards. Right side of the Redskin defense, meeting him there. Marshall and Olkowitz, the linebackers, coming up into the gap. Mann, Butts, Darrell Grant, and Dexter Manley. Manley nicked up a bit last week, but starting today. Mel Kaufman starting for the injured Monty Coleman. Olkowitz and Marshall, the other linebackers. Wilburn, Darrell Green, Alvin Walton, and Todd Bowles, the secondary. There's Dexter Manley. Hurt his knee last week, but ready to go here. Feeling so good about that Eagles victory. They celebrated like it was a Super Bowl win last week after this difficult season for the Redskins. Walker tripped up on a fine defensive play behind the line. Got just over the line of scrimmage, a flag down, and it was Mel Kaufman, number 55, who sliced in to trip up Walker.
Kevin Gogan got a good block on the play. And you see holding called. Gogan got a good block, and as he's making his block and turning out, that's when Herschel trips over his leg.
And it was Kaufman there in that pileup, and Jerry Markbright will give us a call here. The preliminary signal.
Holding number 66, offense, second down.
And that's why Kevin Gogan got such a great block. He was holding on the play. Actually, what happens now, watch at the top of your screen, number 66, that's going to be Gogan, gets a block outside and pulls around the corner. And now watch his block on the linebacker. Now you see that arm draped right across the linebacker's chest, Mel Kaufman's chest, and as a result, he gets the holding penalty. But Herschel was headed up north on that play.
So it leaves now a 2nd and 19. Darrell Clack into the backfield for the Cowboys, number 42, getting some more time in recent weeks. Pelluer, a deep drop, sets up the screen for Clack. And Clack gets out to the 29-yard line, back near the original line of scrimmage. Stopped there by Darrell Green. Offensively for the Dallas Cowboys with Steve Pelluer, Walker and Todd Fowler for the injured Timmy Newsom, Ray Alexander, Michael Irvin, the wide receivers, Thornton Chandler, the tight end, Dave Wydell, Nate Newton, Rafferty, Crawford Kerr, and Kevin Gogan, the offensive line.
Dave Wydell on that screen pass got a great block and kind of cleared things out for Steve Pelluer so he could get his vision downfield and find Darrell Clack on the screen pass. The
injuries to Mark Tuanay and Darrell Smith earlier in the season. Dave Wydell, a rookie, getting an opportunity to play a lot of football for Dallas. Timeout is called.
Timeout.
A little mix-up in the defensive substitution, it appeared, for Washington. And we have this opportunity to send you this commercial message. We'll return to RFK Stadium on the sideline of the Washington Redskins as Super Bowl champs at 7-7, trying for a winning season and a slender opportunity at a playoff spot. The Redskins realistic in chatting with us. Nobody's saying, hey, we're still alive. They're mainly just trying to finish the season on a high note, but they know with some luck they could still get in. 3rd down, 11. Pelluer from the shotgun. Deep sideline for Alexander, and he can't quite bring it in. Off his fingertips, incomplete. The Cowboys will have to punt.
Boy, I tell you what, Monty Coleman put a shot on Steve Pelluer as he released the football, coming in on the blitz from the left side. He just leveled him.
It looked like Barry Wilburn was a little shaken up on the pass coverage there against Alexander on the sideline. So Mike Saxon comes in to punt it away for the Cowboys. Derek Shepard is the deep man. And a short punt that hangs up in what is now an apparent effective wind out there. Bounces upfield. And the Redskins are going to have superior field position. Just a 22-yard punt as Terry Orr covers that ball at the 41-yard line of Dallas.
Smart play, special teams play by Terry Orr.
Here's a look at what Washington has to do and what they have to have happen for them. Obviously, they got to win their 2 remaining games. Then they need help. The Rams and the Saints must lose their 2 remaining games. The Eagles have to lose at Dallas next week. And the Giants have to win 1 of their 2 remaining games against Kansas City or the Jets. So a lot of good things have to happen for the Redskins.
Walk on water like you do dry land.
It also means 2 victories by Atlanta. Jamie Morris tripped up the ball, picked up by the Cowboys. Dallas with the football. Michael Downs all the way to the 36-yard line. Jim Jeffcoat put the hit on Morris and knocked the ball loose.
Jim Jeffcoat at the top of your screen, number 77, is the guy responsible for this play. Watch him just barge right through, get good penetration. He stops Morris before he can make the handoff to Monk. Now the ball's loose and is picked up by Michael Downs. Nice little cut block there, too, by the way, by one of the Dallas defenders, helping out his guy when he hits downfield. Now, Dallas has had a problem this season with takeaways. I believe they came into this game at -19, and that's the second lowest in the NFL. The 28th lowest in the NFL, and as a result, this kind of thing kind of helps them out a little bit. Gets that offense back on the field.
Well, you saw the intended reverse went awry. Jamie Morris trying to get it to Art Monk, but Jeffcoat breaking it up. For the Cowboys, after the short punt, have the ball right back anyway. Walker for about 3 to the 35-yard line of the Redskins. Darrell Grant and Charles Mann combined to stop him there. Herschel Walker having an all-world year, 1,353 rushing yards, 1,825 total yards coming into the game. That's number 2 in the entire NFL. He leads the conference in rushing. You can see that Herschel has moved into a tie with the Washington entire rushing offense. Walker again, this time hauled back by Dexter Manley. The secondary coming up to plug the holes, and Manley pulling him back from behind will leave 3rd down and 6. Now Hamilton, Hamel come in on the 3rd down play, along with Monty Coleman, Vaughn, and Woodbury for the passing defense set up by the Washington Redskins.
I'm talking to Tom Landry last night. You know, he's waxing nostalgically about the history of football and some of the things he's been able to institute in the ball game. You know, it's actually a very interesting conversation. He actually smiled a few times, too.
A tough season to smile for Landry. Pelluer from the shotgun on 3rd down. Flush from the pocket into the sunlight and connects down to the 21-yard line for a 1st down to Michael Irvin. The rookie from Miami worked his way open on the far sideline, and Pelluer delivers the goods.
So Michael Irvin is one of those guys who I was referring to in the open. Young players who the Dallas Cowboys really have a great future in. And here Steve Pelluer finds him down on that right sideline. Pelluer moves up in the pocket just a little bit. Now he's going to slide out. Key thing here, though, is Irving is giving him an open spot. You see him coming back to the football right there, makes the reception on the sideline. But Michael Irvin's one of those young players that they are really counting on for the future of the Cowboy organization.
Dennis Woodbury, the nickelback, made the tackle on him, but the Cowboys now threatening at the 21-yard line. In motion, the tight end Chandler, but whistles everywhere, and it looks like they used up the clock.
This is one of those rules where, you know, those receivers are downfield and they take time to get back to the huddle.
Game. Offense. 1st down.
They take time to get back to the huddle, but yet still that 45-second clock is running. And, you know, sometimes you don't realize that because it used to be once the receiver crossed back across the line of scrimmage, and they'd start the 30-second clock. But it catches a lot of offenses by surprise.
14 games in, you can't be caught by surprise anymore.
Well, it was cold. It took them too long to get the call in.
So it's 1st and 15 from the 26-yard line. And Pelluer trying to keep his hands warm out there. It is under the 30-degree mark here, and shadows already across RFK Stadium. Pelluer, incomplete, intended for Everett Gay. Check it, make it Chandler. Chandler, the tight end, number 89. Ball went in and out of his hands, incomplete, even though they all dove for it as though it was an incompletion. As though it was a drop and a fumble. It was an incompletion all the way.
The thing to look for here is possession. Receiver never really has possession of the ball. You see it stripped right there by Darrell Green. Darrell, of course, says, hey, he did have possession of it, and I'm going to go after it now that I've stripped it. But really, when he came down to the ground, the ball was already coming out of his hands. Good play by Darrell Green. They were teasing him at practice the other day. He intercepted the pass and ran it all the way back to the score. The Redskin players are saying, gee, that's the first one you've run back in about 3 years.
It leaves a 2nd and 15, Dallas. Start in the I formation. Walker got a good hole. 3 Redskins have to combine to pull him down, and he has the 1st down inside the 10-yard line. Alvin Walton finally able to hang on long enough to stop him.
Simple punch play off the left side. Now, what you're hoping for here, if you're a Redskin, is you want to get your free safety up in here to make the stop. Number 23, Todd Bowles. Now, Todd's going to miss the tackle right there. He's had a problem with that all season long. Herschel Walker, extremely good running ability, just tugs a couple of guys along with him down the field. That's a guy that can get it all done for you right there.
So the Cowboys, first down at the 10-yard line of Washington. First quarter action, 6:12 to go. Walker hit in the backfield and buried by Wilbur Marshall.
That was a train wreck waiting to happen. Wilbur Marshall started on that blitz from downtown Washington. Watch him down here at the bottom of your screen, number 58. Here he comes. Timed it up beautifully. Just slices right in back of the pulling guard and meets Herschel about 4 or 5 yards in the backfield. This guy's meant a lot to this Washington defense this year. Many people say, well, he didn't get all the sacks. And within the scheme of the Washington defense, he is not a sack guy. He's a guy that wants to make the stops and make the interceptions. And as you can see by his numbers, that's what he's done.
123 tackles on the season, 74 solos. Pelluer, incomplete. Intended for Michael Irvin. And a Redskin defender with a hand in there.
If you ask Michael Irvin on this play 9 out of 10 times, he says he'll catch this football, I'm sure. Comes across on a post pattern here, right there, and now he's got the ball, he's got possession of it, it's just stripped away, and Steve Pelluer just can't believe this thing. He goes, oh man, I thought I rolled up money on this one. That's getting exciting.
Now, Steve Pelluer showed a lot of emotion last week, and a real good effort against Cleveland. They lose a heartbreaker near the end, as they have so often this year. He's got a 3rd and 15, still deep in Washington territory. Complete. Alexander inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Hit there by Barry Wilburn, saving the Dallas touchdown. There you see Kevin Sweeney, pardon me, on the sideline, offering encouragement to Steve Pelluer. Sweeney got into a couple of ball games after Pelluer had been struggling, and he had his problems. Tom Landry told us yesterday that as long as Pelluer is doing so well, that they will probably not get Sweeney in there. But if Pelluer falters, then Sweeney may see some action today or next week. Roger Ruzek will attempt the field goal from the 12-yard line, a 22-yard attempt. And it is good. So the Cowboys have opened the scoring, utilizing the fumble recovery by Michael Downs. They're on top, 3-0. Michael Downs picking up the loose ball from Jamie Morris. 34 yards in 9 plays, using up 5:07 on the clock. For Roger Ruzek, that's 6 consecutive field goals from 40 yards or less, and he's now made 8 of his last 10 field goals overall. And outlucked the last week in that game against Cleveland, when he had made the field goal with 1:43 to go, erased by the tripping penalty assessed against Randy White, and then missed the 50-yard attempt. The Browns coming out on top as a result. Short kickoff out of bounds as Sanders watched it roll out at about the 12 or 13-yard line. And that will not make Ruzek very happy, or his coach. Green Bay ahead of Minnesota 7-0 in the first period.
Green Bay has defeated Minnesota 8 out of the last 10 games that they have played against them, so that shouldn't come as a surprise.
Buffalo out to an early lead, stung last week and trying to get themselves back in motion for the playoffs. First team to clinch a playoff spot. You know, we talked about Tom Landry at the beginning of the telecast. Career record speaks for itself. Whether the game has passed him by is something that people can continue to speculate. But boy, when you look at the record, you just have to simply applaud. Play action pass. Williams intended for Monk. He got some pressure just as he released the ball and wound up firing that ball out of bounds.
Appeared as Art Monk saw he had pressure outside from the defender, so he wanted to break back across the field. Doug Williams coming off the play action pass, the counter OT. You see his guard and tackle out in front there. And now Doug's going to pull out And there, just before he's able to release the ball, he's getting a little pressure there by number 73.
Danny Noonan, the second-year man from Nebraska.
I was teasing Danny about his moose hair the other day, you know.
Yeah, he's starting to be kind of a glamour boy, isn't he? Defensive tackle. 2nd and 10. Redskins from their own 35, down 3 to zip. Williams, complete out to Mike Oliphant, the rookie from Puget Sound. It's a first down for the Redskins. Robert Williams on the coverage made the tackle.
Mike Oliphant is one of those guys who knows that he's got to struggle in these last couple of ball games to establish himself as a Redskin running back. And you're going to see this guy work very hard all day because he sees these last 2 ball games as not being an established veteran. So you got to make your move then. If you have that little opening, that's when you make your move if you're a Mike Oliphant.
There's a young man getting an opportunity with that injury to Kelvin Bryant to be the 3rd down back. Bryant they had been using as a full-time back and wound up turning into an injury situation for him. Play action again. Williams has lots of time. He's got a man open. Harry Orr down the sideline, driven out by Gary Cobb, but another Redskin first down at the 32 of Dallas. Flag down on the play, downfield. And Jerry Markbright talks it over with his fellow officials. It's going to be against Dallas.
Face mask foul, number 59, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Gary Cobb, the linebacker from USC who came over from the Eagles to the team which originally drafted him. And talking to Gary, boy, there's a guy, a veteran player with a lot of enthusiasm. Dan, you had to be impressed with his attitude despite their problems this year in Dallas.
He really feels that they've come a long way if you look at the development they've been able to accomplish over the course of the season.
And he likes a lot of those young players looking to the future. Jamie Morris trying to get wide, nowhere to go. Jeffcoat stripping his block, getting help from Michael Downs. There'll be a loss on the play.
One of the key things on defense is that you got the front 4 are playing well for you, which Dallas's front 4 is defensively. Then you know that you're going to be able to stop a lot of offenses. Those guys up front get it done for you. Suddenly a team's rushing game is not what it used to be. Now they got to throw the football, and then you start with the pressure of the, rushing the quarterback as well. You know, Ed Too-Tall-Jones might be having the best season he's ever had as a pro. He's 37 years old. Guy's timeless.
Well, and they've had such a good sack attack, if you will, spreading those sacks around. They've got 46 on the season. That's tied for number 1 in the league with the Rams and the Giants. Williams drills the line drive complete. Inside the 20-yard line to Art Monk. It'll leave 3rd down and 2.
We talked about the Cowboys' ability to get to the quarterback. One of the things you do as an offense, if you know that the defensive line can rush the passer, is you start rolling out, moving pocket. Doug Williams slides out to his right and finds his receiver downfield. And you'll see Doug going to Art Monk a lot because Art's going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage. And he has been known to make the best of that kind of a situation. He needs a few passes today to move. I think it's a 10th place on the all-time receiving list in the NFL.
Came into the game with 59 catches. 31-year-old veteran from Syracuse. 3rd down. Less than 2. Williams, lots of time. Complete for a first down inside the 10. Flag down, however. Sanders with the catch.
And the line judge, Bob Beeks, is looking right at Joe Jacoby. That may be where the call's coming from. He's working against Kevin Brooks.
Jacoby becoming the right tackle with the addition of Jim Lachey to the Redskins offensive line.
Illegal formation foul, offense, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
I just saw Jacoby twice. The guy's so big, you know.
He looked like 2 guys.
Hey, you should see his older brother was at practice yesterday, and he's bigger than Joe.
That's hard to believe. That is hard to believe. 310 pounds.
He gave us some good stories on Jacoby that we'll share with you as the game goes on. Joe made me promise I wouldn't tell him, but I'm up here and he's down there now.
It's hard to imagine Joe Jacoby with a bigger brother. 3rd down and 6. The fade to the corner. Incomplete. intended for Gary Clark. And on the coverage, Robert Williams, just enough coverage to break it up. The ball was right there from Doug Williams.
The Cowboys have been looking for some help from Williams. They had some problems back in that same area with Ron Francis. Here he just dips in and just gets a hand on the football right there, and Gary Clark goes to the ground, solves the football. Here's Joe Jacoby. He thought that last play was a touchdown. He goes, a touchdown. No, wrong, Joe.
Whoops. Great job by Robert Williams. 41-yard field goal try by Chip Lohmiller, and this game is tied. So that brings the crowd alive at RFK on a chilly day in Washington. It's tied at 3. The suspects were seen at RFK Stadium, and they're up on their feet, cheering those Hogs as the Redskins have tied it at 3. And what I think
I know some of those guys.
Do you? Some of your friends, huh? I think what's apparent is that both these teams are giving it their all out there, and the Cowboys, despite being 2-12, want this one better.
They sure do, and they look at it as gaining some respect back, and I think that's what they're going to play for. I played on some teams that were out of the playoff hunt, and you know that's the thing you start playing for at this time of the season.
Oh, we might have you reminisce about some of those years, Dan, in the Chicago Bears. Darryl Clack returning the kickoff, runs into a lot of traffic at the 25-yard line. So the Redskins with a 41-yard field goal by Chip Lohmiller, last week's hero with the winner over the Eagles. They went 42 yards in 6 plays to tie it up at 3, and the shadows are almost across RFK Stadium. There's a little more cloud around than there was earlier today here in Washington, so that temperature will drop even more. We're already in the high 20s.
Is this a weather report here? Or?
Yeah, man, I tell you. And that may be because my feet are already ice blocks, and I imagine yours are too.
No, we used to call this bear weather.
Yes.
Bear with it.
First down, Cowboys from the 25. Whoa! The reverse. Kelvin Martin still going. Loose ball. Redskins come up with it. Well, a lot of stuff happened on that play, folks. Martin actually wound up with first down yardage. Will they rule him down, or is it Washington ball? Hanley and Alvin Walton were in the Cowboy backfield.
Well, I tell you what, Jerry Marshall better get this one right, because that ball appeared to be a fumble. And I don't know what kind of decision they're going to take on this thing, but you know one thing, it's going to be replayed upstairs to find out what the ruling is. Now, we got a Redskin down on the field at the same time. Someone is injured down on the field. We'll get that.
Darryl Green, that is, Dan. Look at the play again. It looked like the Redskins were all over the play. Now watch what happens.
Well, they jammed it up in the backfield, but Kelvin Martin comes around. He's got different ideas on the reverse. Now, key question here is, does he fumble the football when he is stopped right here about on the 35-yard line? And so he makes that spin move right there. The ball comes out. His knee is going down. One knee is going down, but that ball is fumbled and recovered by Darryl Grant.
Another look at it from a different angle. You'll see Manley arrive there. He gets away from that man.
Now, Manley sticks his hand in there right there, and then Wilburn comes in and also gets a shot on the ball, and it just comes out, and it's recovered by Darryl Grant. Spin move here. That ball is already out on the ground. I think Darryl Grant recovered the fumble on that play.
Well, as you might expect, they're taking a look at all of that you've just seen, and that'll be a tough one to call, I think. But good effort by Kelvin Martin, even though he wound up losing the ball at the end of it. The reverse turned out to be exactly the right play for the Cowboys, because the Redskins were looking at about a 5-yard loss handed to the Cowboys as they had busted through the left side.
What that also tells you, the Redskins defense, is that you've got to shut down that backside as well. Should not have that reverse work that well against you.
After further review, the play stands down by contact. First down, down.
The one knee is down on the field as the ball is coming out. That's a timing thing, and I still say that's a fumble, and Darryl Grant recovered the football on that play.
Well, you heard inconclusive the judgment upstairs, and so the ball will be the Cowboys' ball. And again, one must credit Martin, despite coughing it up there. A nifty piece of running, got away from Darryl Green on his first shot at him. Shook off another Washington tackler, and there's a guy that's only 5'9", 160 pounds. Raiders and Buffalo tied up at 7 in the first quarter. Green has made it to his feet, headed to the Redskins sideline. Giants on top of Kansas City. We'll be tracking that one for you as it affects things here in the NFC East. Giants masters of their own destiny, as the expression goes, in terms of the playoffs. Clarence Vaughn comes in from Darrell Green. And it is first down Dallas at the 36-yard line of the Cowboys. Disgruntled Washington crowd lets out the boos. Play action pelluer. In and out of the hands. Off the padding of Michael Irvin. You could hear the ball smack onto his shoulder pads in his chest area. Didn't bring it in. Second down.
Players affectionately nicknamed the football the rock. Well, today, it's that cold out. That thing is a rock. When it hits you, it doesn't give you any compression at all, so it makes it very difficult to hold on to the football. One of the things to look for in a Dallas offensive line, now Dave Waddell is doing, I think, a very good job against Dexter Manley. You haven't seen Dexter too active in the backfield of the Cowboys. And now they switch up their tackles. They've got Darrell Smith in there as well.
Darrell Smith, you usually see him on the passing downs. They've got a 2nd and 10. Dave Waddell, the rookie from Boston College, been a pleasant surprise, unblocking well. That's complete. Michael Irvin has a first down. Cowboys near midfield.
Good protection on this play for Steve pelluer. And watch the left side of your screen. That's Darrell Smith. He's going to come back and drop back and block Dexter Manley. He's in great shape. Good shape by the guards. And Michael Irvin, this is a chance, a little confidence builder for him. Drop the other ball. You go back to your young guy. Let him get another shot at it.
Irvin with 24 catches coming into the game. Their #1 pick bothered with an ankle injury that saw him miss some games earlier in the season. Cowboys in the eye. Herschel Walker barrels his way up the middle and gets near the 45-yard line of Washington. Walton and Bowles, the safeties, wrestle him down, and that's no easy task.
Todd Bowles is a guy who, as they always say, is one of those guys that lives on the bubble. He's been having a difficult season, and he's got to have 2 good football games for the remainder of the season.
To stay as a starter for these Redskins, it would appear. Well, we've reached the end of the first quarter. It's been a tough played football game, and it's